Hello, this is Jim Kitzmiller, and it's Sunday morning here in San Marcos, California. A beautiful, sunshiny day as usual. And I just want to express my gratitude for the Internet. It's been a tremendous way of connecting with people. It's been an opportunity to help others and to be helped by others all over the world. And it's a phenomenal means of communication. And I've been in the Internet for, maybe a couple of decades, and it's just changed a whole lot in that time period. Like creating this video would have been out of reach 10 years ago, or at least getting it to you in this format is just would have been a whole different ball game than it is right now. It's so easy to put a video up on YouTube that we can use for our own form of self-expression, and finding that self-expression is tremendously valuable. It's been a major issue in my own life personally, and one of my highest ever spiritual states came shortly after experiencing myself being heard. I was in an environment the night before where the meeting was facilitated by someone who made sure that each one of us were heard thoroughly and properly, and all the other people present were into that mindset of being heard and hearing others, really understanding ourselves and others. And the next morning I woke up in a tremendously elevated state. It was just unlike anything I had experienced previously. It was just this tremendous feeling of peace and silence, and it was really a special witnessing of the world and feeling like I could be part of it, but that I really wasn't part of it innately. It's like the world was the illusion that we hear about, and there was no intellectual activity or wording saying what's illusion, or is this the right wording or that's the right wording. Everything just was, and I was, and there was no mind chatter, nothing like that going on. It just felt really wonderful, and that state has been a benchmark for me as state that I'd like to be in constantly, and or possibly even higher levels. And I believe there's processes that can help us get there. I've certainly had my share of experiences. Before I reached that state, I had been on a 4-week fast called the lemonade diet. I was on that for 4 weeks just before reaching that state, and then I went to this event where I was really heard. And I don't know if it was exclusively because of those or if it really was because of those, but at least on a timeline, that's what I was doing before I experienced that state. And I'm extremely grateful for having had that state. And there have been other high states before that and after that, but this particular one was unique in many respects. There were a lot of other states where I was tremendously joyous and laughing, and that was fantastic too. I've experienced bliss in different formats. That's one of the, or that is the topic of one of my books. Rocket Fuel for the Soul, blister-sized self-help manual with 400 self-help exercises. So there are ways, I believe, that can help someone get to a state of bliss, and I just wanted to tell you now about this experience I had. And I really invite you to align with myself and many others who are giving a very high priority to living from this state all of the time. And you've probably experienced glimpses of that yourself, or maybe a really strong experience of that yourself. And once you've experienced that for yourself once, there's really no forgetting about that state. It's something that we want all the time. It's actually not something we have to travel to India to get. All we have to do is let go of the things that are not that state, to really release and to focus our attention on that state, on the characteristics of that state, which are divine essence. Divine essence aspects include love, beauty, possibly quiet amazement, all the elements of appreciation, gratitude. All these things are there, and we always have a choice. Like I found myself last night watching a television show, and it was really a very negative show, and it just went on and on with all this creepy negative stuff. And I just made a choice to turn it off, and I erased the recording, and I unsubscribed to the television series, and went and watched something else that was happier, and it really changed the way I felt. And every moment we have a choice. The choice includes what to look at, but more importantly, it includes the way we look at things, because we can look at things in a very happy way. We can look at things with the viewpoint that they're perfect the way they are, and we do not have to fix them. We can look at them in one or more of their attributes of divine essence. We can see things by being the witness or the observer who doesn't have any compulsion to change anything. These are all choices that we make, and it's so easy to do that. And I really suspect you've had your moments of doing that yourself. I know I have, and I really like to share these things with you, and you can share your own observations with others. It's great to learn from others' observations and experience, but it's even better, far, far better, to draw things out of yourself or align with teachers who are going to draw information out of you to help you experience things for yourself. Teachers who will ask you questions that are empowering questions, and not overwhelming questions that are some kind of a riddle that you never solve, but ask questions that are things you can observe for yourself right now. And you'll find that when you describe things in detail, you describe them out loud to another person or some kind of recording device. When you describe those in detail, a lot of things happen. One thing is you see even more details to describe. You describe those, you see even more details. So we're actually, by doing this kind of process, it's called Socratic Education, where we witness something and we describe it in detail to a listener, and we become more aware, we become happier, we become increasingly able to express ourselves. All these things are available to us. And I'm encouraging you to keep continuing on this path of self-expression. I'm going to keep putting up videos and blog posts and so forth that I think will inspire you and give you ideas and techniques about what you can do to help discover things for yourself, to increase your own awareness of things, to become more conscious, to become more at peace, to become happier, to live life, possibly experiencing the same things, but experience them in a different way, to experience them in a happy way, to experience them in a way that is empowering to you, plus also experience things in a way that sparks the divine essence in others. Because when we see other people's divine essence, it helps them see that divine essence in themselves. There's some kind of a resonance that gets set up, that takes place in others in your presence. When you see their divine essence, they really do become more perceptive, they're more aware, they're more able to see their own divine essence, and it makes such a huge impact on people's lives and on our own life, because when we see other people's divine essence, it actually empowers us too. It sparks our divine essence. It beefs up, if that's a way to say it. It enhances, increases our own awareness of our own divine essence when we do that for others. And it's not that difficult to do. There's a lot of meditations, guided meditations on my website, jimkitzmiller.net. There's guided meditations on YouTube that I've placed there, others have placed there, that really invite you to either one, I'm doing a gesture here, doing divine essence, I guess you don't do divine essence. You see, perceive, you feel divine essence, you experience divine essence. So there's guided meditations there that help you experience various aspects of divine essence. As mentioned before, love, perception of beauty, perfection. There's guided meditations that help you see the perfection. One of the things Wayne Dyer likes to say is, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. So we can look at things in different ways. You know, one is from a different physical location. That's one way. But another way is kind of the lens or filters that we put in front of the things we see. Like, there could be negative filters that impose some kind of a negative perspective on what we see. And we can also let go of those negative filters. Ultimately, there's no filter at all, and we're just witnessing the divine unfolding. But something we can do is decide to pretend, to imagine that our room is filled with love. For example, love is one of the best known aspects of divine essence, and we can imagine that the room is filled with love, and we actually change the way we experience things. That is guided meditation. I have several of those out on YouTube, and there'll probably be more coming. And that's something that we can purposely do ourselves. And I could go on and on about this, and it doesn't all have to be in the same video. The main point here is that I'm encouraging you to experience these things yourself, these higher states. And you can describe these things to others in more detail and more depth. And that will help you. Back in the days of Socrates in ancient Greece, there were these Socratic schools where there were like one or two experts and there were a bunch of students who were listening to these experts. But the main benefit was experienced not by the students who were listening to the experts, but the benefit was experienced by the audience who, or was being, this benefit was being experienced by the teachers who were speaking on what they were observing, what they were seeing, what they felt, what their insights were. And they had benefit from talking to these students. So I'd like to invite you to embark on a Socratic journey, a Socratic named after Socrates, the main proponent of these kind of things. And I'd like to invite you on that journey. The retreats I will be having in the future are all based on Socratic experiences where you team up either with me or other students and express yourself. And I'm going to be doing some experiments. Can this actually be done in a webinar where students are paired up over the internet and interacting with each other? So I encourage you to continue this journey with me, this Socratic journey, this journey into discovering the magnificence that is all around us and the magnificence that is within us. And this can be a fun journey, and it doesn't have to be a tremendously rocky road. It can be, but I think a true experience where we apply the principles of true education, where our wisdom, our insights, our perceptions are drawn out of us, I believe that to be the most rapid and effective journey that there is. And I have a really good feeling right now, and I encourage you to partake in this self-expression. If you have any questions about how to go about this or any feedback, I'd really appreciate it if you either emailed me, jimkitz@gmail.com, or put some kind of a comment below. And I want to thank you very much for watching and listening, and I hope we get to meet in person sometime, or at least connect over the internet. And as I usually like to sign off, may the bliss be with you. Your friend, Jim Kitzmiller.